Hello again everybody and welcome back to the channel. Very warm welcome back to all of our bronze, silver and gold frequent flyers on the channel and everybody else as well tuning in. It's a subscriber only live chat today. It's a new feature that YouTube's allowing, so if you want to come and say hello in the live chat, ask any questions, make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're here folks, and it'll also help grow the channel, which in turn means more giveaways. So we're in the Aerosoft CRJ 700, as you can see parked up here at Stockholm Arlanda, and it's the new style SAS livery. It's absolutely stunning. Wojciech, hello, welcome. Extreme Paul and Danny Rubel, welcome to you guys. Hope you're all okay. And what we can hear at the minute is basically just the air conditioning packs. That's all we can hear. And we've got ground power unit. Steve, hello, and David, good morning. I believe that is you. Representing the channel, of course, in our livery for the A320neo. Stunning. And we've got the latest Arlanda from the World Update released, was it last month, I think it is. So it's the Asobo handcrafted Stockholm Arlanda, and it's absolutely stunning, really nice. SAS maintenance hangars in the background, we've got the big control tower and the Clarion Hotel all modelled in too. And of course, this is the Terminal 5 section at Stockholm, which is the home of Scandinavian, SAS. Matthew, most definitely yes, I absolutely agree with you there, it's going to look brilliant in the 900. You can download this livery on flightsim.to, and you can also download their old school livery, which I think had the orange engine cowlings too, which is really cool. We've got announcements today as well in the form of the Luke Air tool, which you can also download for free.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're Captain. Welcome to Scandinavian Airline and the Star Alliance and our flight in our preparation to start up.
David,
will conduct our safety demonstration.
How's your prep coming along? Doctor on board, Jay, Steve, good morning to you guys, / good afternoon, and Alberto, hello to you, hope you're well. Reese, hello, was going to join, having internet issues, flying offline, no problem at all. Always another time, of course. Got a whole weekend of streams ahead of us. Let's fire up the APU. We're on ground power at the moment. Rock and roll with that. Matchak, hello, welcome. What's the airport elevation here? 108 feet. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We'll just go with 100, that's the closest. Jeff, good morning to you. Never been to Grand Teton. QNH at the minute is 1021, so we've got that in the standby instrument and in the PFD. We've got our V-speeds all synced ready to go, and there's our performance table for today. I've left us quite heavy actually. Bearing in mind, we're probably going to land just below that max landing weight. And if we don't achieve that, we might have to hold a little bit. Thank God it's Friday, yes. David, ready but radio not working. Bizarre. So, flight plan wise, here's our legs. So departing runway 08, and we're going to be using the BABAP 3 Romeo departure to BABAP. We're then going to take the November 5 airway to GELDA, so that's via ODB and GELDA, switching then to the Lima 59 airway to BALIT. Golf 818 airway to RANOK, Lima 59 from RANOK to NASOK, and then hopping on to the November 133 airway to NEGUV, which is all the way down here, most of the way, and then Mike 66 airway to KUKAM, which is then the start of our arrival into Krakow. We've got the Drzewiecki Designs Krakow scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it looks like one of the best I've seen ever, so really looking forward to checking it out actually, and I've not even spawned there to have a look, so This is genuinely going to be my first look at the airport when we land today. Flex temp 46, that was Aerosoft's suggestion of course, and let's clear those. APU's fired up, so let's... Oh, it's already come off that, lovely. Let's get rid of those, we can close the door.
Captain, the cabin is secure, all passengers are aboard.
Fantastic.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the captain and crew, welcome aboard this flight. We hope you enjoy flying with us. Before takeoff, we would like to encourage all passengers to watch our cabin crew display the safety
FMS1,
features of the aircraft.
nav source is white, V speeds V1 of 152. Is that our V1? V2 plus 10, sorry, 152. There we go. Let's target V1 there of 133. We've got stab trim 1 and 2 on, engaged. We've got mac trim engaged. You have to do stab trim 1 and 2 first, then engage mac trim, and yaw damper 1 and 2. So for those of you, I've mentioned it a little while ago, but just as a refresher for some people, you've got to turn all of those on for the autopilot to work. Otherwise, it won't let you engage the autopilot at all. David, try pressing in vpilot .com1 and then space 122.8. Arlanda traffic, Scandinavian 1799, a radio check.
555, Scandinavian 45 Tango.
Likewise, thank you. Auto, ELT's on arm. Emergency lights on arm, sorry, and ELT's on arm as well. Hydraulics are all on. Normal. That's on both engines. Aircon recirc fans on. That's off. External power's away. All ready to go. Mobile Gamer, hello, welcome. So, APU's on. We've got our stab trim set as well for departure with our performance, so it's advising we need a stab trim of 6.9. See it right at the bottom of the screen here, takeoff trim 6.9. So we've gone ahead and used my top hat for that as well, just to get that all sorted out. And we've worked through all of this so far.
Stockholm traffic radio check.
Readability 5.
Thank you, sir.
Cool, doors closed and locked, and we just need to push back then. Happy days. What's the latest QNH then? It's 25 degrees Celsius, QNH 1021, but I did that about 30 minutes ago, so we'll refresh the METAR, and it's QNH 1020 now. Good job I checked that. Ah, perfect. So, there's David. We're all clear. Ground equipment's moved away as well. We need to get rid of the chocks. So, chop maintenance people, turnaround managers and things. Happy days. Let's rock and roll. So, boost pumps on. APU is available. We want continuous ignition, and then we'll start the engines in a second. Arlanda traffic, Scandinavian 1799, a stand 13, CRJ 700, push and start. We're in the cul-de-sac, so don't need to worry about push start face west or anything like that, of course. Now, we haven't got a tug. That's one thing that I've noticed with this with the Sobo handmade airport. We don't actually have a tug for this airport for some reason, so it's an invisible tug. We'll stay on the flight deck. Start engine 2. Runway 8, David, yes, and BABAP 3 Romeo departure for the right turn. And Mobile Gamer, it's an hour and 40 minutes long. Here comes that N2. It's over 20. Unlock. Idle. We get rid of the flight attendant. I don't know if it's flight attendant or cabin announcements. Oh well, we're going to have a double whammy selection then, because we've got the Australian lady. Hence why I'm pushing back slowly. And we've got the actual Scandinavian Airlines safety demonstration.
Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention as we display the safety features and procedures of the aircraft in case of an emergency. During an emergency, please remain in your seats with your seatbelts fastened and your seats in the upright position. In case of a drop in cabin pressure, breathing masks will drop from the ceiling and should be placed over your head. If there is smoke in the cabin during the evacuation,
The long old pushback.
lights will display to the exits, which are located here and here. In case of an extreme emergency landing, you will be instructed to get into
Stockholm
the
traffic, Osprey 490, gate 7.
Oh, what? Gamer, yes. That's David.
We would also
CRJ
like
goes by.
all electronic devices. We thank you for paying attention during this brief presentation.
Demonstration av nödutrustningen ombord och ber dig därför att du tar av dig dina hörlurar och lyssnar uppmärksamt. We will now perform a safety demonstration, so please move your headset and pay close attention.
We'll start engine 2 now as well.
You will find a summary of the information.
Make sure we don't push back into anything. It's a bit tight.
Your seatbelt is fastened and open like this, and always keep it fastened whenever the seatbelt sign is on, and we do recommend that you keep your belt fastened during the whole flight when seated.
One day we're going to get one of those pushback add-ons that does all this for us.
If oxygen is needed, a panel above you will open and masks will appear. Pull down the mask firmly.
So we can just
place
focus
it
on
over your
starting
nose and mouth and
the
breathe
jets.
normally. Adjust the strap to hold the mask in place and secure your own mask first before helping others. You will find your life vest under your seat. Pull the vest over your head and pass the strap around your waist. Fasten the buckle and
Arlanda
tighten
Traffic
the strap.
Scandinavian 1799, taxi to Hull Point X-ray to runway 08 via Apron Bravo Charlie, Yankee 5, Yankee and X-ray.
When in contact with water. The emergency exits in the aft, over the wings and in the fore part of the cabin are all marked with exit signs. And lights in the aisle will guide you to the exit. Look for nearest exit as it may be located
flip
right
side.
behind you. Smoking and the use of electronic cigarettes is not allowed on SAS flights, including in the lavatories. And if you need to open the overhead compartment during the flight, we ask you to do so carefully to prevent baggage from falling out. Thank you, and we all wish you a pleasant flight.
Window heat.
Jag sammanfattar nu den information som finns på Safety Ombord-kortet i stolsfickan.
We're taxiing on 2 now. Oops, forgot. Before we turn, I need the nose wheel steering. I always forget I need a big arrow to flash up on my screen to tell me to remind me to do that. Every time.
Flytvästen, den finns under din stol. Våra nödutgångar bak, över vingarna och den främre delen av kabinen är alla märkta med exit-skyltar. Ljus i mittgången kommer att visa vägen ut.
We'll get rid of the APU in a second as well.
Nödutgång finns och den kan vara alldeles bakom dig.
Unicom as it should be, indeed. Like to have it nice and proper, don't we?
Och om du under flygningen behöver öppna bagagehyllan så behöver det vara försiktigt så att inget faller ut. Tack så mycket och vi önskar dig en trevlig resa.
Stockholm traffic, Osprey 490, push and start, stand 17.
Signs are wrong. Lucas, hello, welcome. Great streams, love them. Any hints on power management and climb in the Aerosoft CRJ being issues getting to cruise and overspeed crashes on descent? Thanks so much. So there's no auto throttle, which I'm sure you know. I forgot taxi lights. Anything else? Oh, and beacon. Oh dear. I've had 2 coffees today as well. Oh well, nobody noticed. So I'll go through departure in a second as we do it, I guess. But effectively, we've got our route planned for our departure here. So all we need to do is just take off initially and try and fly that V2 plus 10 if we can. She climbs like a rocket, so all we need to worry about then at that point, once we get to sort of a decent altitude, say for example 1,500 feet or 1,000 feet, we can go straight onto nav if we haven't been given vectors, like you might get in the States, in which case you'd make sure heading is facing where you're going and you use heading mode instead of nav.
I like your streams very much. Just watched your tutorial on how to fly VARS NDBZ in the DC-6. Helps a lot.
Awesome. Danny Rubel, thank you very much. Just make sure I don't get lost here. Splitting off, I want X-ray here. So after departure for today, we've got an RNAV departure. I'm going to select nav mode first. I'm then going to come across and select speed mode before anything else. So I'm still manually flying this. So select nav mode number 1, speed mode number 2, and then, having selected speed mode, I'll make sure that the speed is what I want. For example, 180 knots or 200 knots by changing this wheel. Then I turn autopilot and gauge on. At that point, I will move the throttle into the climb gate, which is here, which is just here, and that is how the aeroplane controls the speed in the climb for you. It's the only time it will do that. Thrusters versus armed. Beyond that, every time we hear altitude, that C chord, because we're almost at our cruise altitude, for example, or the altitude target in a step climb, it means that the throttle is ours. So we then have to intervene and we need to reduce the thrust or whatever else. Same for descent as well. When if you're going to pitch the nose down, the aeroplane is going to want to accelerate. Oh, look at those, loads of Scandies. If that happens, we need to slow the aeroplane down, and if the speed starts to run away from us, we need to reduce that rate of descent using vertical speed mode. So instead of, you don't want to reduce, you don't want to descend at like 3,000 foot per minute, 3,500 foot per minute, because you'll lose track of speed very quickly. Captain Paul D, welcome. How are you? Hope you're okay. There's David taxiing round. There's a load of Scandinavian airlines in the distance. I love this livery, it's fantastic. How great does that look? Jay, good grief, you love the long hauls, don't you? I think we're on Unicom all the way today. X-ray 2 is coming up. Nice big wide hole point here. We're going to want manual crossflow, override. What else have I missed? Probe heats left and right on. And that's everything else except for lights. Matthew, love it. That's a fantastic tip, isn't it? Altitude capture. So when you hear that little boop C chord, you'll hear it today. Lucas as well, you'll hear that hopefully, so listen out for that, and you'll then see that instead of it saying climb up here in the PFD, it will say man, and that's because I've then taken control of the thrust and I've brought it back ever so slightly, and this is where throttle calibration really helps.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has advised that we are now cleared for takeoff.
If you can, I'll put the part brake on at the whole point and I'll show you. If you can change the throttle calibration so that you've got very little difference between max thrust, toga and climb, you then have a really nice range to play with until you get to idle, and what that allows you to do is you'll see it in the cruise whenever you guys watch my streams. So this is idle, so my throttle at the minute, my little single axis throttle is on 0 all the way up to the top, right, so that's 50%. That is about 75% of the way on my throttle. And it means then that through cruise I can make tiny little adjustments. So look at these little tiny adjustments that I can make. That's where throttle calibration is really key. There's David, whoops. Arlanda traffic, Scandinavian 1799 via X-ray, lining up and departing runway 08, BABAP 3 Romeo departure.
Thanks.
Lucas, you're very welcome. Hope that has helped. So, everything is ready to go. Apparently runway 8 has got a heading of 070. Not quite sure how that works. Yeah, it looks like it actually does as well. Magnetic variation, but they need to change the runway really, if that's the case.
Scandinavian
Mad.
correction, Stockholm traffic, Osprey 490, hold point X-ray 2. The line up and wait behind the departing CRJ.
So, there go all the lights. Toga. Flight directors come on. Bit of thrust. First click. Second click. Toga. Cross set. Speed's alive. $80 knots. V1, rotate. And positive rate, gear up. I'm trying to fly to that flight director. There we go. Happy days, so holding 180 there, that'll do us. So, nav mode, speed mode. Gonna rank that up to about 200. Autopilot engage. Now I can let go.
Cause I been away for a
Now-
while here, 10 quid to say sorry lol.
I can put that into the climb gate. And it's going to hold that for me until 5,000 feet. Let's clean the airframe up. Arlanda traffic, Scandinavian 1799, airborne passing 2,500. Captain Paul D, thank you very much. Never need to apologise, of course. Appreciate you being here.
Stockholm traffic, Osprey 490, runway.
Now, I don't want to level off at 5,000, even though that is the top altitude for our departure today. I want to continue climbing, so before I get the C chord, I'm going to rack it up a little bit more, up to our cruise of 35,000. It's 35,600. There we go. Outer marker. And it's basically going to climb at 200 knots all the way. You can see we're hitting transition altitude, so press there, standard pressure, press there, standard pressure for the standby instrument. And I'm going to allow the speed to come up a little bit more, so let's start to accelerate a bit better, shall we? Let's go to 250 knots. There we go. Beautiful. Rhinoceros, welcome on board, thanks for subscribing. If you're watching in the background, do come and say hi. All you've got to do is click subscribe first and then it'll allow you to chat.
Stockholm traffic, Osprey 490, passing 2,400 feet, airborne.
Look at that. Stunning. Nice little straight out departure. right turn coming up in a second. I'm trying to remember my keybinds. I want to say Alt 4. Yeah, let's trust it. No, there we go. It's that one. Windows 11. Is it any good, Rich? Happy Friday from a storm in New York. Nice. Yeah, we've got a whole weekend of streams up ahead for us. Tomorrow, we're jumping into the A32NX as well, the fly-by-wire mod. And we're going to be heading to India. We're going to be leaving Hyderabad Airport for a massive VATSIM event, the Spice Run it's called. And we're going to be flying down to the Maldives, which is going to be really nice. After that, on Sunday, we've got another quite different little trip for us to take part in. You can see David's lights just there, look. We should be over 10,000 now. Ah, we are, yes. Let's accelerate. We're going to be flying from Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, Bole International, all the way to Mahé in the Seychelles, which is going to be really nice. Matthew, that sounds exciting. So the biggest thing for those of you who are wondering, like Lucas asked as well about, managing speed in the climb and things. We're in speed mode, so you can see the modes here. Nav speed, nav's telling us where we're going. Speed is telling the aeroplane only during the cruise, so up to about 34,500 feet. It's telling the engines to fly, or the FADEX are controlling the speed up to 300 knots basically. And the throttle, as you can see here, is in the climb gate. Let's get rid of those. I need to do a bit of tidying up actually. There we go. Any other time, the throttle is ours, so we need to control that ourselves manually. BABAP coming up. There's the banana for our top of climb. It's a fantastic part of the world to fly around in. Rhinoceros, hello. What do you say about the current state of the Aerosoft CRJ? No Aerosoft from older add-ons on FSX and P3D, and I'm absolutely okay with the level of detail they do for the aircraft they do. This is my favourite. By a long stretch, actually, it's my favourite aeroplane in the sim. It works wonderfully. Very rarely do we have problems with it, unless it's pilot triggered, of course. Not many bugs. The ones that they had on launch, like the ILS, has been fixed. I absolutely love flying it, I've got to say. Matthew in the live chat, one of our channel members, probably the best person to ask Rhinoceros. He's a real-world CRJ pilot. And in fact, I had another message on Discord from another CRJ pilot in the States. Let's see. I'll read out what they wrote, actually. Where is it? Sent me a load of tips. Said, totally agree, the CRJ is the best aeroplane in the sim right now. Aerosoft has done an excellent job with the CRJ. It's very realistic and almost exactly like the real airplane. That's what this other guy said, which is really good to hear. I mean, I absolutely love it. It's a must-buy for me, I think. Lucas, we all do it. Don't worry. You've got to learn somehow. And that's the reason why I do all these tutorials. Personally, I love the hands-on nature of this. Yeah, you've got to think 5, 6, 7 minutes ahead of the aeroplane. DC Mole, hello. Hopefully in the next few weeks. Hopefully in the next few weeks. Rich, there's no auto throttle, no. There is at the moment, because we're climbing. And I've actually, another tip that I've been given is reduce vertical speed, use vertical speed mode instead, so it stops the oscillation during the climb. Around about here actually, I think it said, I think the guy said, the 25,000 feet. So the only time we've got like an auto throttle, if you like, is now. So we're in climb because we're climbing. And might have found a bug. Let's come out of speed mode. So I've gone into vertical speed mode based on some feedback from a real pilot I received yesterday. Kind of expected speed mode to hold for us, but it's not done that. Enable that. We just fly the aeroplane. Little nudge on the throttle. That'll do. We'll climb away there, roughly around 300 knots. Look at that. Beautiful. Lucas, yeah, the 1000 has a VNAV, but make the most out of just trying to learn how to, fly the aeroplane and think in advance. But it still doesn't have an auto throttle. Let's put in a bit more chat there. The only thing they've not really modelled is this, which should pop out like a little light. That's the only thing really. But apart from that, by far the best aircraft in the sim at the moment. Quite a long mile actually. Pitch mode, nice. Reduce that to 1400 foot per minute, shall we? Let's just target 295 for the time being, shall we? We'll convert that in a sec. Just tell the training department you do that. Well, you know what? If it means that you guys can have that finesse of flying at higher altitudes, that's a great thing. Lucas, that's awesome. If you're on our Discord, you'll have to supply us with an image of that. But yeah, no jump seat. I assume it'd go there, next to where the hat clip is. CRJ 900 1000 expansion should be coming fairly soon though. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I'm really looking forward to that. The CRJ 900 especially. Should have departed Helsinki. They've got ATC today. Yeah, Matthew, jump seats they weren't particularly comfortable in the A320, so I can't imagine they weren't very comfortable. Oof. Yeah, there's not very much space, is there, for a jump seat? I can't imagine they were particularly comfortable at all. Ah. Thank you very much. Should use the heads-up display more as well. That's a nice little feature for those of you who don't know it exists. Got a great little heads-up display that we can enjoy. It's not something that I tend to use too much though, I've got to say. Perhaps I should start to use it that little bit more. David's final cruise was Mach 0.79. I think I spotted in the chat there. Mach 0.78 for your final speed. Forgot you're in the slow Airbus. Yeah, on Sunday, as I was saying a little earlier on, we are heading into the Seychelles. We've got the FSDG Seychelles add-on, which I did a video on the other day actually. Absolutely love it. It's wonderful. Add-on, vast amount of space, part of the world that they've actually rendered in with I think it's about 15 or so different airports, and I've had a great time flying around VFR around all the islands since release. Thomas, hello. Yeah, Poland baby, hope you're okay. We're going to be flying on Sunday in the Heavy Division 787 with Ethiopian Airlines colours. There's that C-core that I mentioned, and that's because we're almost going to capture 35,000 feet, but we're already in manual thrust. So at this point, if we were in climb mode still, or speed mode still, we would need to drop that throttle back out of the climb gate to then control the speed ourselves. You can see there that we're watching that target there for 35,000 feet. It's starting to come to the centre. You can push to 80, awesome. Yeah, how many times have you banged your head then, Matthew? Brooklyn, hello, welcome, hope you're okay. There's Matthew's little saying. What was it? Adjust little throttle, stupid. Was that was that what you said it stood for? Jerry, yeah, I'd imagine. So all I'm doing now is I'm adjusting that throttle for cruise. I've just brought it back by 0.5% of an M1, and as the aeroplane settles at 35,000, I'm not going to change the throttle. I'm just going to let the speed settle, let the aeroplane settle at cruise altitude, and just see what it does. If it speeds up slightly, then I'll need to drop that a little bit more. No EPWW? Not yet, maybe another time. That's settled quite nicely there. Look, 84% N1 at 35,000 feet. And it's pretty much in the middle. So we'll just let that sit there, check every couple of minutes. Ashley, good afternoon. Hope you're well. Yeah, you can tell it's a Type 1 actually with the hood. I can demonstrate how easy it is for Matthew to bang his head when he's flying this in real life. Doink! It comes right out at your head. With that as well, we can change the brightness. There's a little brightness knob here. Look, hood brightness. We can turn it down if we want to. We can turn it right up. This is by far my favourite aeroplane in the sim. Yeah, David, no problem at all. If you want, I'll slow down to Mach 0.79. Happy to do that, if that works better for you. Milo, hello. How are you doing? So while we're in the cruise, we've settled nicely the speed and everything there as well. Let's have a little look at our route. So using Navigraph, let's get rid of that. There we are. Rolling along quite nicely actually now. Out of Swedish airspace, we're going to be passing through a little bit of Estonian airspace. And a bit of St. Petersburg FIR as well, before then heading into Poland. Down to Krakow. That's kind of what we can expect for the arrival. What are we expecting actually? KUKAM 3 Golf and runway 25. There we go. Lots of ducking and weaving, but in via KUKAM. Down to at or above flight level 100. Max 220 knots at KK 554. And then working our way down to about 5,000 feet at Borsey. There's a hold there if we need to. There's a hold at KUKAM as well. It actually says max 230 knots by ATC. Available for non-RNF1 aircraft. Okay, well that's fine. That's not us. So jetting along. Then we're going to fly this sort of like half extended downwind leg. Bit of base into finals 5,000. And then ILS runway 25 looks like that. So via Borsey at 5,000 feet. Straight in. And there's another tip that I've actually learnt. I've got a habit with this aeroplane. So you can see the frequencies here, ILS DME Krakow 112.8 and the ILS frequency of 110.3. It's an RNAV approach, but what I like to do is I like to have a little bit of manual control. So I'll go to radio and I'll take it out of manual and I'll put in the arrival frequency here. But what I've been told is the aircraft actually seeks out the nearest VORs and things as we're flying along. So we should leave it in auto mode. And when we put the arrival in, when we get close enough, it'll auto-tune it for us. It's a smart little feature. So I need to stop meddling with it, basically. What's my alternate, Thomas? Lubin. Echo Papa Lima Bravo. That's our alternate. Not that we're going to be using it, of course. We'll get it down, one way or another. Copenhagen approaches online. That would have been a good one. Oh my good grief. Have you guys seen the meta for Warsaw? Matthew, yeah, so what I basically got told is when I take it out of manual auto-tuning, I'm basically rendering my FMS slightly less accurate over a period of time, so DC Mole, I'd rather be the pilot, although it wouldn't be flying if it wasn't for the engineers, so yeah, 50-50. The meta into Warsaw genuinely looks pretty terrible. Let me copy and paste it. It's in the live chat now. Krakow. That's pretty horrendous. Winds are 040 degrees at 18 knots, gusting 38. Variable between 340 degrees and 090 degrees. That's sweeping around as well. So it's exceptionally gusty. Very windy just in general, but very strong gusts of almost 40 knots with a sweeping, changing variable wind as well. So that's with thunderstorms and rain. A few clouds at 1,100. Scattered cloud at 3,000 cumulonimbus. 22 degrees in QNH at 1015. So that's pretty horrendous actually. We're going to have some horrible weather flying in. And that's going to... looks a bit bumpy, yeah. We'll issue some additional sick bags. Red, is that the TAF? What time is that TAF forecast for? Variable 30 knots, gusting 55 knots. God, you know what? This might be the first stream where if we can't land, we might actually have to divert somewhere. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Not really sure what to expect with this approach then, to be honest. I want to see the TAF. Thunderstorm with heavy precipitation of rain and hail in that TAF as well. Good grief. How do you find... let's get the TAF then. METAR TAF EPKK. TAF at John Paul II. Let's have a little look here. I'll put the whole TAF, guys, in the live chat as well. And this is basically the aerodrome forecast. So the weather forecast like we see on the telly, but this is specific to the airfield. And I've done a video on how to decode this. David, you're in the A320. I think you'll be okay. This is going to be crazy in this. And I'm actually really looking forward to it. We're going to need some icing as well. Anti-icing through the descent. So within that TAF then, if we try and decode it, we're going to expect an arrival 1349 Zulu. So all of that TAF applies. Effectively, from where it says becoming 0912 to 0915, that is going to be the forecast for the weather when we arrive. So, let's see. Main winds are 250 at 10 knots, but between 1200 Z and 2400 Z, which is now, winds will be variable 15 knots, gusting 30 knots, 4,000 meters visibility, thunderstorms and rain, broken cloud, 3,000 feet cumulonimbus, and a 40% probability temporarily between 1200 Zulu and 2100 Zulu, variable 30 knots, gusting 55 knots, 2,000 meters visibility. That's not very much, with thunderstorms, rain and hail. Broken cloud at 700 foot, broken cloud at 1,300 foot cumulonimbus, and then temporarily between, so going into tomorrow actually, so we don't need to worry about the rest. That's the forecast. If I want to make my head hurt, read up on exemption 17347. It allows a 121 flight to be dispatched to a destination airport or alternate when the TAF is forecasting below authorised weather minimums at the ETA. However, the body of the TAF must indicate that the weather will be at or above the authorised weather minimums at ETA. What are the maximums for this, Matthew, for your bird? What are the limits? I feel like we're flying into the limits today. If not slightly beyond the limits, perhaps. Well, I've broken Navigraph. There we go, let's get that back up again. Let's have a look at the actual approach. Runway visual range of 550 metres and MDA of 1,000 feet, which is 220 foot above ground level. So okay, that's within limits. The VOR approach, let's have a look, is not in limits. So it's either the ILS or the RMP. We'll obviously do the ILS. Airport elevation of 791. Four, 6, 8, 800. There we are. Go for the closest value. Does that hurt more than banging your head in the cockpit every day? Yeah, I'd imagine banging your head is going to hurt more. How many go-arounds do we reckon that we're going to have then today, folks? What's your best guess? With up to a 55 knot crosswind, gusting. Actually, that's a very good point. The variable weather doesn't even give us much of a clue, but it's becoming 250 at 10 knots as the mean, so that's straight down the runway at 10 knots, but then variable gusting up to 55. We're averaging 30 knots, gusting 55. So we're still going to stick with runway 25. But that is some atrocious weather, and it might sweep round to a tailwind, we don't know. If it does, we'll have to go around and try again. DC Mole reckons 2 go-arounds today. It'll be the, I think the second ever time I've done a go-around in the CRJ. Ever. We'll see how it goes. Ye of little faith, DC Mole. Jay's going for 3. Wow. We've got enough fuel to hit 3 go-arounds. If we get beyond 3, I will probably end up having to punch around and divert. We've got enough to get to Lubin. How much go-around gas have we got? Around about, I think I've loaded an extra hour's flight time. Let's have a little look. We've got an extra 1,500 kilos of fuel, plus a final reserve of 647 kilos. Plenty. Thomas wants to divert. We won't see the scenery though if I divert. The whole point is we see Krakow with the Drzewiecki Design scenery. DC Mile indeed, yeah. If you don't get it in on that second go around, I think we're going to be in trouble for a third. There's no point trying a third time, is there, I guess? So the only options would be cheat and take it out. Take it out of live weather. Or we divert, but then we won't see the Drzewiecki Design Krakow, which is the which is the whole point of the stream today. This is going to be crazy. It looks so calm outside, doesn't it? It's like the calm before the storm. See all this high altitude cloud building in ahead of us. Fuel. Kind of wish I taxied out on one engine now. We got loads of fuel left. 1,500 burnt already. 3,600 left. Should we be worried? Nah. We'll be good. We've got the Aerosoft CRJ and my average ability to get her on the ground. It's going to be interesting to see how the sim renders this in with live weather. Having seen the TAF and the METAR suggesting pretty severe weather. What's the option for 07? It's a VOR, which is not in limits, or the RMP, which we could do. RVR of 100 meters. That's okay. So we've got options. There's first flash of lightning. Obviously we're going to be going for the ILS more so than anything else. For a missed approach for this, at any point in the approach, we then need to climb straight ahead to KK383, which is basically runway heading. So we're going to fly 252 degrees to 12.5 DME from the airport, the KAK VOR. We're then going to turn right at max speed of 220 knots on a heading of 346, climbing to 4,000 then as directed. So in effect, without any ATC, we're going to climb to 4,000. We're then going to vector ourselves round for a second attempt. Another bite of the cherry. All good. I wouldn't be attempting a circle to land for this, that's for sure. That's an option. Definitely wouldn't be doing that. No way, Jose. Not with that weather forecast. That speed is ever so slightly creeping above that. ECMOL, this is MSFS live weather today, but I've got Unreal Weather as a backup. So let's go 0.5 of a percent M1. So when I was mentioning about throttle calibration being key, I've been able to literally drop that down by 0.4% of an M1 just to get that speed back inside our range. As I mentioned, for those of you who might be watching for the first ever time, I mentioned on a stream the other day when we flew this, as long as the speed arrow, our indicated airspeed, is within the range of the top level of Mach 80 and the bottom, which is what we've set, that's okay, I'm happy with that. I'm not going to chase the target. Look at that headwind, 50 knot headwind. I'm not going to chase the centre of that speed to be exact, because then we're just going to be chasing the throttle all the way through the flight. And in doing so, we're then making the aeroplane burn more fuel and become a little bit more unstable. And it sounds like we're going to need as much fuel as we can save. So we've got Unreal Weather as a backup, just in case we need that. Oh, there's another flash of lightning. We're going to be going into all that cloud in a second. CRJ 700 max demonstrated crosswind is 30 knots, but you can go much higher. CRJ 900 is 35 knots, but you've landed one over 40 knots crosswind component pretty easily in it. Nice. It was only a 35 knot crosswind component though, wasn't it? So the difficulty with this is going to be that variable wind, where you've got no control over where that wind is going, and it's not a consistent direction. you know, even if it was variable within a range of 20 or 30 degrees, that's manageable. But if it sweeps around and we get wind shear, for example, and it can get quite nasty an approach. And it'll be interesting to see how the sim renders that in. So at roughly the time where we're going to be heading in, we've got a 40% chance of variable winds at 30 knots, gusting 55 knots, 2 kilometers of visibility, thunderstorms in heavy rain and hail, broken cloud down to 700 feet, broken at 1300 to 1300 foot cumulonimbus as well. And in the main, the median is going to be variable between 250 degrees at 10 knots, temporarily 15 knots to 30 knots gusting, variable winds, 4,000 meters in thunderstorms and rain with 3,000 broken cumulonimbus. So either way, it's going to be a very interesting approach for us. And we're in my favourite aeroplane in the sim, so I'm going to try my best not to scratch her or overstress the tyres. Might have to manually fly it and crab her in. That'd be interesting. Matthew, so actually that's a good question. I don't know if it's going to be modelled in. Potentially it will be. I think it is in the A32NX. In heavy icing you have to, so in the Airbus A320, the starter stuff down the bottom here below the throttle, you need to turn it across to ignition mode start and then put everything on high. Sarah, hello. Very well, thanks. We've just been discussing the TAF and it looks hideous. And the METAR. Jerry, good luck with the approach. I have to go to work. We'll watch later. Nice one. Thanks. You'll have to drop a comment and let me know what your thoughts were and how well you think I did. Why is the hood down? Thought we'd give it a go. Oh, that's a great stewardess DC mole. We like that. Yeah, it's in a fly-by-wire, so David, you're watching, you're in the fly-by-wire A32NX. You're going to need to select all those extra modes to be sure. Otherwise you risk an engine failure. We'll be fine in this. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what Matthew suggested. Continuous ignition. I'm going to crank windshield heats to high, probe heats are already on. I'm going to put wing icing on and cowl icing on as well. Thomas has spawned at Gdansk. Nice. Xenox Design, welcome. Welcome aboard. If you're making something for the sim, drop me a little email. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream so far today, make sure you don't forget to hit that like button down below. All this cloud that we're going to whizzle into. Put a bit of wing icing on, why not? By far the best aircraft in the sim by a long stretch. Absolutely love it. Really looking forward to the CRJ 900 and 1000 update pack as well. Really looking forward to that. And David, what modes? So we're expecting thunderstorms, hail and heavy rain on approach, and then with that you can expect icing as well. So in the fly-by-wire A32NX you're going to want to flick your ignition mode onto start, I think it is, and then you're going to want to put all of your heating onto basically high. Mark, hello, hope you're okay. Good afternoon to you. Flying into the storm now. You can hear that thunderstorm, the thunder building in the distance, and there we go into the cloud. Eddie, good morning, hope you're okay. Guys, if you're watching in the background, it's a subscriber only live chat today. All you've got to do is hit subscribe, and after a minute you'll be able to chat in the live chat, so come say hi if you've not done so already. Please do click subscribe down below, give us a little like as well. We've got a whole weekend of live streams ahead. So we've got this one today, stunning little flight to the Drzewiecki Design Krakow, although the winds could be gusting up to 55 knots variable, so whether we get in or not I don't know. There's some pretty severe storms at the moment in the area at Krakow according to the live METAR and the TAF. Nox Gaming, hello. Lucky, hi. No, not really. I might have to adjust it every now and again, but the biggest tip that I found is you just set an N1 to your speed, and yeah, it's quite happy that it just sits there then effectively. All you've got to do is just sort of set that, and I haven't touched that for a little while now. Granted, we're flying through some smooth air. Oh, good afternoon. Was thinking it was quiet. Yeah, well, it's just a subscriber only live chat. Everybody can still see the stream, of course, but you've got to be subscribed to be able to chat in the live stream. That's a new YouTube feature actually, so most channels that you guys are watching are probably going to have a similar thing very soon. Danny, welcome on board. Bronze frequent flyer. Be sure to ping us in Discord. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for supporting the stream with a membership. Ping us in Discord, we'll get your role added in Discord for you. Right, let's think about our arrival, shall we? It's going to be a tricky one actually, because we can't really plan for very much. We could end up having to change and dump this to the RNAV 07. But we're going to plan for ILS 25. He says with the memory of a sieve. KUKAM 3 Golf is what we want. I definitely didn't just check my flight plan. There we go. Arrival data, ILS 25, 3 degrees, 256. We can look at the charts. Let's see if I can do this on a bit of a split screen for you guys. Pretend I'm technically adept. That's the button. There's the charts, 252, and lock true bearing 256, so we're probably going to have to change course slightly. Glide slope angle of 3 degrees, that's there, that's correct. ILS frequency of 1103, that's correct, there look. And the runway threshold altitude of 779, we've already tuned that. What am I doing? There we go. Runway threshold 779. Happy days. Execute. I don't think we can change the bearing. No. But that's no bother. All we need to do as we actually start to fly the route is just change this dial here to 252 so it flies the correct heading. Yeah, Lucky, you've got to keep your eye on it, don't you? Otherwise the speed can run away. But we're steady here. We were at 24.2-ish% M1. I've dropped it to 84.2-ish. We've dropped it down to 83.8%, and it's holding our speed really nicely. We're in cloud, but it's smooth air, surprisingly, so we're okay. Danny, you in the live chat? Say hello. Make sure you've subscribed as well as join us as a member. If you can't chat. what was I going to check? That's it. So every time we've added a arrival procedure, we want to make sure we check for discontinuities. There we go, we've got one. We've got a double KUKAM. KUKAM at flight level 350, we don't want that, we want this one, flight level 260, because that's the aeroplane thinking about VNAV and descent. So let's get rid of those two, execute. He says, and it's changed it anyway, there we go. So you can see top of descent is just after Nubli before Leuben. As you can see our flight levels are starting to come down. KK 554 at or above flight level 100. We check all the way down to about touchdown, which is runway 25. And then KK 383. And then vectors for the approach, for a missed approach of 4000. So that's as we discussed on the charts a couple of seconds back. Happy days. Flying along beautifully. How come it's 0.8? It's usually 0.74. So it cruises really happily at max decimal 0.80. The moment you hit that do not exceed speed tape, the sim crashes. I wish you could disable that. I think you can. I think you can. It's the aircraft overstress setting, I think, in the realism menu. But speed control. So when you're flying along, if you notice it goes above that the top of the purple speed target for Mach decimal 80, set that as your upper tier for your range, or what's acceptable, and then set that little bottom bit there as your lowest range you're happy for that arrow to go to. And then just add 0.5% N1 either way. Just let the aeroplane stabilise the speed from that, and just see what happens. You don't have to make big movements of the speed. And just don't forget that there's no auto throttle, so beyond climb it's all down to us to manage. Danny's trying to get in the Discord as well. That sounds fantastic. Hopefully we've sorted him out. Let's have a quick check of Discord. Danny 6518. There we go. If that's you, Danny, let us know in the live chat. Ping one of us, and that way we'll be able to get you sorted out with your access into the club lounge. There you go, Lucky, Nox Gaming. So Matthew's a real-life CRJ pilot in the States. Good grief, you're flying with a DualShock 4. Is that a PlayStation controller? There he is, Danny. Welcome. Really like the streams. Thank you very much. I'm glad you do. Thanks for your support. Just joined Discord as well. Perfect. We'll make sure you've got your bronze frequent flyer role there for you. And then you'll be able to see the club lounge, which is the members only area. Not that the chat is any more sensible. There's some random stuff in there, I tell you. Yeah, Nox, it is set in there, isn't it? Let's is it in here? Yeah, so target speed 290 and climb. There you go, target speed of 300. So I guess that's not really converting, is it? It's can we change that? I think we can. Let's see if we can without breaking it. Mach decimal 80. There we go. And we can change that to 275. So 275 slash decimal 80. That's a bit more of a reasonable speed for the Aerosoft CRJ, or for the CRJ to fly at. DC Mole, yeah, I'd love to actually. In fact, if Matthew, you've bronzed Danny up with, hopefully not with Fate Tan, Mark. Thanks very much. I hope you're okay, by the way. I hope you're well. Matthew, yeah, if you're free at any point and the times work and you'd be interested, then we could give a shared cockpit flight a go in the CRJ. I keep meaning to try and find the setting where you can do it in the right hand seat as well. I could try and fly in the right hand seat. I'd love to give that a go. That speed, so on the heads up display, whoops, he says, trying to demonstrate something. Fat fingers. So on the heads up display you can see that it looks like it's kind of at the top, and that's probably because of the angle that we're at. Yeah, maybe not so much, but it does look like it's almost at the top. Look at those cumulonimbus clouds. Definitely thunderstorms ahead. Shame there's no terrain or weather radar on this. That's the one thing this is lacking. But really, yeah, we've got the speed really nicely there. You don't need to chase it, change anything. Don't thank mechanics enough. Let's have a quick check of the club lounge. Oh no! How is that even possible? Where's the weather radar? Let's beyond that. Have I missed something for weather radar? Beyond that, I'm not sure what else it would be. I guess it would be, it's basically this, it's radar, isn't it? We've got that. Ah, weather. I don't know if this works. Lovely. We'll find out when we get there. Wait for the next day starting tomorrow, then 8 days off. Awesome. I'll have to liaise with you in Discord to try and work out when we'll be free next. I tend to try and avoid shared cockpit just because of how I've done it once, and for those of you who saw it at the time, it was enough to put you off for a very long time. So that's the reason why I don't tend to do much shared cockpit. That looks like a little top of descent marker mixed in there. Yeah, just before Luben, like we thought it might be. We're in Poland now. Look at those towering cumulonimbus. Oh, thunderstorm below. Lucky. I'm managing to do about one Fly UK flight a month at the moment, but still trying to finish their South America tour, the Scenic South America tour, which is stunning. For those of you who haven't already given it a go, really nice little flight, or selection of flights around South America. Ah, Mark, yes. That would be 2 shared cockpit then. Although Join FS, it was a lot better actually, wasn't it, than the other one. DC Armour Traitor. You know, I've done 3 of my last 4 A320neo flights. And I've had issues where I've had a direct 2 after departure for the Athens to Larnaca and a couple of other things. And I've had the whole MCDU just wipe everything back to sort of 0. I've had a lot of issues with it at the moment actually, so I've kind of getting to the point where I'm getting a little frustrated with the instability of the MCDU at the moment. It's bordering on becoming, you know, too unstable for VATSIM, for a smooth VATSIM flight I should say. You can fight and get everything back again, but I don't have to in the CRJ. It just works really nicely, and same with the 787 Heavy Division mod actually as well. That flight plan manager in that is beautiful. It works so smoothly. DC Mod's doing the ADV heli tour right now. Awesome. For shared cockpit, I think we need to use your controls. Is that still around? Is that still a thing? Lucky, you might know a bit better. Nox Gaming, you might know a bit better, of course. Smooth flying. How are you doing? I hope you're okay. Ah, nice. So, Lucas, are you a Diamond DA62 pilot in real life? And if so, how long have you been doing that for? We could do the join FS thing then, instead of VATSIM. That's got a really good little shared cockpit feature in there at the moment. I think this is the second ever time I've flown into Poland in the sim. I don't know why I've not done it so much. But now, of course, we've got some beautiful scenery. That is a gnarly looking cloud down below. Look at that. That's insane. It looks so realistic. I had to put the weather tilt on. Wonder if this is modelled in. I'm not sure if it is. Tilt. We want down, isn't it? Or push auto. Oh, we'll do that. When we start to descend, it will give it. Yeah, I found, last time we did shared cockpit with your controls, it was with Callum, one of the mods on Discord, one of our channel members, and we're in the A32NX, but at some point your controls just became a little bit desynchronized, and then we turned autopilot off, and we ended up going from 36,000 feet, 37,000 feet down to about 6,000 feet in about 30 seconds in this horrible spiraling descent that we had to really fight out of, so kind of put me off using it again. Lucas, nice. What's the biggest aircraft that you've flown then? If you don't mind me asking and being curious. Ah, Crystal, no problem. You could have then flown out of Warsaw or something and joined us en route. Grant, good afternoon to you as well. Hope you're okay. Just off night shift. Whoa. I've got some night shifts coming up actually next week, which I'm not looking forward to. It's been a long time since I've done nights. I've got 2 of those coming up. Oops. That down there. This ever so thin layer of cloud. Mark, you did indeed, yeah. We found it a little bit more stable, didn't we? Although a couple of the settings are a bit desynchronized and a little bit bizarre, but it worked actually quite nicely. Very soon we're going to have to start to think about descent. stop the autopilot while you transfer control. Oh, that sounds busy. No, Christopher, yeah, we've got 50 knot headwinds as well that we're contending with, or 39 knot headwind now actually for us, which is not too bad, and you can see that we're getting a bit close now. Not doing too badly actually. Let's just tidy up the heading there. Right, we're through the cloud, this thin layer of cloud. Get to the flight deck door. There's not very much to see out the windows, to be fair. Decent, oh, awesome. EPKK, and what have we got here then? 1300 Zulu. That's rather out of date, and that's
Been a wee while, the 2-part streams in a week. A current record.
Paul, thank you very much. That's a really generous tip as well. Thank you, really appreciate that. It has been a wee while. 2-part streams in a week. Love it. Right, let's have a little look. We've got landing elevation set, that's the closest we can get at the moment. You flew 737s, 757 and 67s. Love the 757-200, brilliant aeroplane. Then you switch to Airbus for Emirates. Wow, that's fantastic. Learned a lot in just the last hour, thank you. That's great to hear, really appreciate it. We've got wing icing on, we've got windshield heat on low. I might put it in high as we start to think about descending. And then we've just got cowl icing to do, it gives us one less thing to do in a second. Yeah, I love how you have to think a lot more actually with this CRJ. You can't just engage in auto throttle and then just let it do its thing. You have to constantly think. Kind of similar, I guess, to the 757 when you used to fly that, Lucas. I don't think from memory that has a auto throttle, does it? Though I might be wrong. Cool, awesome. Doing a little hold ahead. It'll be fine. Good, thanks. Did my first flight in the fly-by-wire A321X yesterday. Awesome. Hopefully you were using the latest dev version and you switched from X-Plane 11. Whee! Nice. Fantastic. That's always good to hear. And yeah, like you just said there in the chat, the graphics in the sim are amazing. They really are. No other simulator gives you a window view like that. It's insanely realistic, isn't it? Reminiscent of real flying. Knox, love the CRJ, always got your hands busy. Yeah, absolutely. Got to think nice and far ahead. Paul, the METAR seems out of date. Just try and find a new one. Yeah, the METAR is quite contradictory, isn't it? It says 050 at 15 knots, all the 9s, thunderstorms and rain, broken cloud, 3,300 foot cumulonimbus, 5,500 foot broken, 21 degrees. And turbulence. Recent thunderstorm and recent rain. So certainly the RNAV 07 seems to be the more favourable of the two, but then the METAR, I know the METAR is the current aerodrome weather, but that was 1300Z, so 30 minutes ago. It's a tough one because Winds are variable, apparently from around about now-ish. The wind should be shifting around to 250 at 10 knots. And then temporarily variable 15 knots gusting 30, and then a 40% chance of variable 30 knots gusting 55, with thunderstorms, rain and hail. Knocks indeed, and if you use cowl icing up here for anything, then the cowl icing will screw you up. You'll lose about 10% N1 for that. I'm very tempted to do the RNAV 07. RMP runway 07. I think we'll have to, won't we? Don't fancy a 15 knot gusting 55 knot tailwind. Either way, I think it's going to be a bit of a tricky approach to decide upon. Right, so RMP 07, what about our approach options then? KUKAM Hotel then arrival. Knox. With the METAR and the TAF, the VOR approach isn't available. So we'll switch to the RNAV. Matthew, I think so. Oop, that's not there. One 128. Right, so this is going to be our approach then, with the current METAR, like so. So it's a similar sort of arrival, but actually we're going to be turning right instead of left. We're going to be heading west to then fly around to the initial approach fix of Eheti, 5,000 feet, and then initial fix of Imnaz, 4,000 feet, descending down 3,000 foot, and then at KK 5901, 3-degree glide slope, down to the runway. DH, or MDA, sorry, of 1041. We're going to tune that in, and an RVR of 800 meters. Although, actually, it's not. It's 1420 because we've only got LNAV. So RVR of 2,400 meters, and what's the METAR say? It says all the 9s. There's no way in heck that could be the case. Oh well, we'll have to go with that. Light thunderstorms and rain according to the METAR. EPKK. Just waiting for that METAR to refresh with the current one. 1420. Oh, you know what? Almost missed top of descent. Ay caramba. And have we got? Yeah, discontinuity. Oh no, we're not. Getting sidetracked. Let's get back up there. What was I doing? Absolutely forgotten. setting the MDA. 1,400 something, wasn't it? So up we go. Ah, Christopher, not good. Crashed the desktop. $1,420. There we go, MDA set. NOK, so I guess it depends on equipment. Mark, yes, indeed. So we've switched the arrival. We need to quickly have a look at that as well, because we've now got the KUKAM to hotel arrival, runway 07, all nod at or above flight level 100. And then as long as we're at or above 5,000 at Hetty, we should be okay. Oops, speed. Holding it up Mach flight level 190. We will be there very shortly. In the case of this CRJ, why did we decide to go for the RNAV? I mean, in theory, we could do the VOR. In fact, the RVR actually for the VOR. Let's have a little comparison here, actually. RVR 1,600 meters for the RMP. No, sorry, wrong way. Whoops. 2,400 meters. 1,420 MDA. 3 degrees. VOR 3 degrees. DA a DH of 1,660. But they're both 2,400. The RNAV just gives us additional. It gives us the LNAV for final approach, basically, so I can just focus on vertical speed and flying at vertical speed based upon. Again, let's see. Hopefully the weather map works. I don't know if it actually works or not. Subjot, welcome on board. Do you think it's worth buying Flight Control Replay? No, definitely not. Go to flightsim.to and search for Flight Recorder, and it's free. As Nox Game has just said, actually, there's a little delay on the stream. It's free and it does the same thing. It's actually a nice little bit of kit. Lucas, I'll just notice just getting behind the aeroplane in the CRJ really quickly. Just jumped in without much study, but watched your tutorials now, and hopefully we'll do much better. Fantastic. Hopefully, yeah. As I said, by far it's my favourite aircraft in the sim. By a long stretch. Everything just works really nicely, including holds and everything as well. Missed approaches, it's all in there. She can do a lot. Where is my VOR? 112.8. Gonna pop that in there. Ah yeah, so no weather radar. That's a real shame, isn't it? Range, let's bring that in. We're almost at top of descent. We want 10,000, don't we? So I'm actually going to start now. Because it's after Luben, which is roughly where we wanted to start our descent anyway. Oops. And we want... Mark, yeah, you love your GA flying, don't you? Yeah, I confess I should do more actually. I really like, do really like GA flying. Niddy, welcome aboard. Thanks for subscribing. All you've got to do to chat today in the live chat, folks, is press that subscribe button. After 1 minute, the live chat unlocks. It's a new YouTube feature for live streams. Down we go. And I'm going to be sensible, and I'm going to put cowl icing on as well. And you can see now, I haven't changed the throttle, but we've gone from 78-ish% M1 to 71.6. Oof, there's the snowflake. It says it's suggesting 2,000 foot per minute, 2,100 foot per minute. So let's chase that. Bit more throttle to compensate. Oh, we're getting dizzy now. I'm 20 miles from up max, so actually, if you want to get ahead, you'll be fine. There we go, I'm inbound up max now actually. Bit more, 2,200 foot per minute. That's sending into the storm. Look at that. We're about to head into that filth. Lots of cumulonimbus. Thunderstorm. Love it. Here we go. Yeah, literally heading out that direction into whatever's in there. What did I just click? I just heard me twiddle something. I'm rapidly trying to diagnose what that might have been. I think we're good. Oh, it's lost the LNAV a tad. It looks, oddly enough, it looks clear down there towards Krakow. Ever flying VR? No, I haven't got a VR headset actually. I'd love to, but I don't think the sim is quite there yet for it. We're on the snowflake nicely. Let's make use of the hood actually, so we don't have to zoom in so much with things. You can see the snowflake just there, although it's just disappeared again. Let's drop that, get rid of that. Thomas, I'll have a little look in a second. Let's see. New Metar 060 at 7. So winds 060 at 7 knots, variable between 020 and 090 degrees. Few clouds, 3,000 feet, cumulonimbus scattered 6,300 feet. 21 degrees Celsius, dew point 19 degrees Celsius, QNH 1015. And recent thunderstorms in the area.
Krakow traffic.
It's not too bad actually.
Leaving Okmark. Krakow traffic.
We're already past up, Mac. Yeah, TCAS does work, but for some reason we're not seeing it. But I'd imagine that's because Paul's a lot lower, so Krakow traffic, Scandinavian 1799er, inbound Ulnod, descending through flight level 240 for 10,000. Expecting RMP runway 07. and flying a KUKAM 2 hotel arrival, Krakow traffic. Ah, there's TCAS, so it's popped up now, it's a possible threat, and he's at flight level 190, we're above. So he's literally right below us, somewhere. Look at that. Yeah, the TAF certainly looks very interesting. The weather looks incredible. Look at that. I don't think anybody ever expected a simulator to look so realistic.
Traffic is 12 o'clock, reducing speed to 100
Whoa.
knots, easy 5.
That's insane. That's a huge thunderstorm. I'm letting that speed run away slightly. Let's get that speed off. Stonners, hello mate. How are you doing? Hope you're okay. Flying into thunderstorms today. Krakow's looking a little moist. Yes. It is indeed. Right, I think we can continue our descent. Let's do 7,000, shall we? Lucas, no problem at all. So we don't want to do 180, we want to do 230, I think was on the charts. No, max 220 knots, there we go, so we'll do 215. Let's resync that heading bug. Look at that, that's insane. We're a little high. Oh yeah, that does look wet at Krakow. So, let's be a good boy, let's put continuous ignition on. Look at that. That's ridiculously cool. This looks great. This is live weather. Flying straight into the thunderstorm. I'm just letting that speed bleed off to 250 knots. What's the QNH? 1015. Let's do a bit of cheating. Let's get that one set ready. We're going to continue a descent all the way down actually, so let's set that. Punched out through that cloud, that cumulonimbus. Was a supervisor online? Yeah, no Krakow in the marketplace. It's only on Orbex Direct at the moment. That speed's bleeding off actually quite nicely, but we need to actually slow the aircraft down a bit more. What's my favourite aeroplane in the sim? It would be this. Okay, that's all done. We've done our approach briefing, actually. What's our missed approach for this? RMP07, climb straight ahead, course 072 degrees to KK 597, climb to 4000. OTA. Like, work's always cut out for us when we're flying this approach. And the landing data's all set too. Before landing, that's all done. We just need to arm the thrust reversers and things. Passing 10,000. That's all on high. Let's get them. Oops. Thrust reversers armed. Oops. Fat fingers with wrong buttons. Krakow is off in the distance. Can't quite see it though, it's under that rain cloud. Through there somewhere. How we're doing? Altitude's actually looking okay. We're passing 8,000. We've got 3,000 left to lose. Just the only thing we've bust at the moment is speed constraints. Oops. Let's keep it coming. There we go. We're within that now, which is always good. Krakow is off in the distance. So 220 all the way to Aheti at or above 5,000. That one PTSF guy, hello, welcome. Is this a payware add-on or something like that? Because that is worth it. I'd definitely buy my laptop if I could. So the Aerosoft CRJ is an add-on aircraft. There's Paul behind. So this is an add-on. It's the best thing you can buy right now for the sim, and quite a lot of real CRJ pilots have said it's incredibly realistic and they've done a great job. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator's live weather engine. Look at the rain splatters and different like little weather systems all around as well. That's incredible. Krakow at the moment is underneath rain, so we've got that to contend with. And we're going to fly 215 knots all the way. What about performance? VREF 134, so we're going to go 139 for approach speeds. Krakow traffic, Scandinavian 1799, CRJ 700, turning left base, runway 07, RMP approach. We'll report on finals. Here comes the rain and the thunderstorm. This is madness. This is insane. It's cool though. 1128, we've got to make sure 1128's already set actually automatically. Lovely. Nav. BOR2, that's set. So we're at 5,000. We want to hold that till Aheti, which is there, which is good. And then Imnaz, 4,000 feet, is coming up next. Here we go. Might actually ditch the music for this. I think this is going to be full on. Winds have been variable, and the TAF suggested gusts up to 55 knots variable winds. So we're flying into completely unknown conditions here. Not quite sure what to expect.
Check out traffic, Osprey.
And now we're going to be turning finals. Let's do this. Final check. They're all on. That's all on. Let's get rid of cow-licing for now. We want engine power. Stonners, no problem, buddy. I'll drop you a little text later.
75 at Kilo 576. Reduced to 180 knots for separation. Krakow traffic.
And now we're turning finals. So Krakow is quite literally in that storm. So resync heading, gonna get 4,000 set. We've got our MDA set as well, and at the minute apparently we've got a 10 knot tailwind, which is not good. DC yes, exactly. 9 knot tailwind. That wind is sweeping round to a bit more of a tailwind now. We'll run it to 10 knots. It's about 8 knot tailwind component though. There's the edge of the runway. And now we want to go down to 1420. We'll do 2,000. The graphics. Glad you're enjoying it. Thrust reversers are armed. That's all good. We've got continuous ignition on for the icing, although we probably won't need that now. And we're staying in LNAV for the approach until we take over to fly it in. Krakow traffic, Scandinavian 1799, a speed 150 knots, passing IMNAS finals, runway 07 RMP approach. I'll maintain 150 knots until 3 DME. So our first check, KK591, we want to be at 3,000 feet. Ground speed of 164, which is giving us 849. Yeah, downbursts. I'd like to think they're modelled in. Set that. Rad out's kicked in now as well. NOx set. I've got the Luke Air tool. We've been using it today. The only one I've got left is the landing one. There's Paul. There's David. 3,000. We've got 200 foot to go. Gear down. Now let's go full flaps. Just keep an eye on the aeroplane here. I'm going to fly it. tendency to want to pitch ever so slightly to the right. I've got aileron. For some reason the ailerons are ever so slightly to the left. Not quite sure why. Let's set 4000, which is our missed approach. And it was fly a course of 072. So that's set. Get rid of that. And we're all configured. I've got a GE4 RTX 2070 Super. That rain is just ever so slightly on the airport, look, on the perimeter. And there's even a rainbow. This aileron trim issue is a little bit odd. Not quite sure how it's happened, I've not knocked that. It's manageable. Let's get rid of the flight director. We're about 150 foot above the profile, but that's okay. $140 knots. Let's put in a little bit more power just to slow that rate of descent. We're holding the attitude where it is. Thank you, Cass.
Krakow traffic, easy 75.
Jane, Joshy, welcome on board. Jonathan, hello. How you doing, buddy?
Knot, 0 knots.
We've got a 4 knot tailwind now. The winds are very variable. Minimums continue, we're nice and stable, gear down, and no warnings.
400.
No 2 red, 2 right, which is a little bit annoying.
200. Sync rate. Sync rate. 100.
Shush.
50. Sync rate. 30. 20. 10.
Okay. Little wiggle on the rudder there. Reverse. Oh, ball's coming in hot. Trying to come off here at Charlie. Totally never done that before. It was fine. It was the tailwind more than anything that we were battling, I think, there that was triggering that. Let's start the chrono, give it 2 minutes so we can shut down the engines. Krakow traffic, Scandinavian 1799 are vacating the runway at Charlie taxi to gates.
Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete
That's the
stop.
view we want. I'd probably go with the former Cythera. Probably the aircraft was high, or slash I was flying it in slightly too high. But it wasn't LNAV only RMP, so. Thomas probably can't know.
Traffic, easy 75. RMP 07, 6.5 miles.
So this is the Drzewiecki Designs scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Strobes off, let's get them onto low. Landing lights off, strobes off. And we'll start the APU. So we've got to go left for parking stands. Henry, hello. He's still on his way in. Look at that rain. Literally right at the edge of the airport. Live weather in MSFS is so good. Let's see. Try and do this a little bit. Bit of multitasking.
Ladies and gentlemen, for safety reasons, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. Keep seat back and table upright. And leave cabin baggage in place until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. We ask you to open overhead compartments carefully to prevent baggage from falling out. We hope you have enjoyed this Cessna Starline.
This is the Polish Air Force section.
Hope to see you again soon.
This looks awesome. Mark will be at home here. Let's shut down engine 1, do it properly, shall we? Taxiing on one engine. Mountaineering. Convince you to get the CRJ7. Do, yeah, and you need the CRJ7 actually as well before, in order to get the expansion pack that Aerosoft will be releasing very soon too. Which is it's going to be a really stunning addition actually. Look at that livery as well. Here comes Paul. Not quite sure what he's in yet. Taxiing slowly so he can catch his touchdown. We'll have a look at Volanta in a short while as well and check out the landing rating, see what I got a touchdown to. What was that? A wee bounce? I think it should be an EasyJet, but all I've got is a white aircraft. And I can't say why. Because it's something I'm testing at the moment. Perhaps it's because he's in an A319.
Krakow traffic, Osprey 490 is on a 10-mile final.
Either way, what I'll probably tell you guys is FSLTL, which is a package designed to give us good model matching in the sim. It's not dead.
Tractor traffic EC75 vacated runway 7 at Alpha.
Nick, hello.
After bouncing.
Hey, you know what? He said it himself. Takes an honest man to confront that. Where should we park? It's our first glimpse of the international part of Krakow. Look at that. Sticker by the terminal, shall we? This looks wonderful. There's lots to explore in here as well, so when we park up and get on stand, we're going to have a good little explore around, because there is an underground train station as well apparently, which I would love to go and find. Got to watch David land as well, so that's why I'm taxiing nice and slowly. We're on engine 1. You know what, it's the variable tailwind that's causing problems. You know, my approach was quite high. Paul's probably was a little bit as well, a little bit high and maybe a bit fast, because we had that 7-knot tailwind, and it was quite variable, so we had sweeping around and causing a few issues. Very easy to float and carry a bit too much speed in when it's like that. I'm sure the real pilots could tell us that as well in the live chat. I'm sure they would agree. David's still got a way to go. 2 out of 10 with no Wizz Air. Yeah, you're right. There's a Ryanair, I think, in the distance. And a Lufthansa. We're going to stick about that bit of terminal there. This is on Orbex Direct, by the way, guys, so you can get hold of one there. What's the biggest aircraft that flies out of Krakow in real life?
Osprey 490 is on a 4.5 mile final 07. Thanks for the heads up, I'm slowing down.
Good luck.
I'll need it.
DC, well, yeah, very true, yes. A bit more of a glide. Every helicopter landing is a controlled crash, right? There we are, we get that good view of David coming in. He'll probably be obscured by the tower. 787-8, yeah, so we could probably get away with using the Dash 10, couldn't we? Ball's gone all the way over there. There's a whiz. There you are, Thomas. So we've got EasyJet, Whiz, Lot, Ryanair, Fly Dubai with something there as well. We've got a blob that's just rocked up and a Lufthansa. I was just about to park there. Now I'm going to have to go somewhere else. Ooh. Not before we spot. Do a bit of plane spotting. Bit blurry from a distance, of course. How fast are we going here? Oh, Lot's pushing back. Did he say anything on Unicom? There he is. Doing Osprey proud. There's V-Pilot just catching up with the sync. Oh, it looks lovely. Look at that. Beautiful, smooth. Nice work. There's a Mackie D's over there. Golden arches. Right, let's get her parked up, shall we?
Traffic, Osprey traffic. Correction, Krakow traffic, Osprey 490, clear 07.
Is that an animated bit of traffic? I think it is, isn't it? That's an animated bit of traffic. Just sort of pushing back from a gate and then going back forward again. That's quite cool. Yeah, and then he's getting towed back onto stand again. That's really sweet. So Drzewiecki Designs, they're the guys that created Washington DCA, which we had a little look at a little while ago, and I absolutely loved. Daniel, welcome on board. It's a stunning bit of scenery, really is quite fantastic. That'll do us. So, let's cut that. Oops, that's the wrong one actually, isn't it? We want to cut this one. There we go. Aircraft. Let's get the folks off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the door is open. Please make your way to the exit and please make sure you have all your personal
Right,
items and carry-on.
let's check out Volanta, and then we're going to have a real good look around the terminal, shall we? We'll do that live. So, Volanta, we'll complete the flight. There's our little route for today. We're the 15th person to arrive at Krakow John Paul II International today. There's our little RNAV approach. Touchdown. Minus 165 foot per minute and 1.28 G. That's not too bad actually, is it? I'll take that. 122 knots for touchdown there. But let's get off the aeroplane and go for a walk. Oh, hello. She's very happy to see us. Oh, wow. We'll do what we did when we did DCA. We'll slow the drone camera around to a bit more of a jogging pace. Shh. Look at that. This is fantastic. Not sure about the dress sense of some of these people, but this is brilliant. Oh god, that's like something from a horror movie. The face. Duty-free, discover Poland. Get your fags and booze here. There we go, look at this. I know I'm zooming around here, guys. So, apologies if it's making you nauseous. Through security the wrong way. Oh wow, look at this. This is brilliant. There's a lot on VATSIM. Maybe it is him then. He's just sort of waggling around watching the stream saying hello. If that's you, have a little look in the live chat. Come and say hello. Hello. God, this is amazing. Loads of checking gates. There's stuff landside as well by the looks of it. And we will go and find the train station in a second. Baggage reclaim, is this? It is. Baggage reclaim hall. Sweet. Trader City, next departure, 12:43. Let's go outside for a sec. Wow. Look at the detail on the car park alone. And what's that in the distance? Got a whole car park. There's the motorway. I think that's the motorway. There's the train station, which means there's a choo-choo that way. Alright, let's go find it. How do I control the drone? Just with numpad. Oh wow, look at that timing. That's brilliant. Off we go. Enjoy your city break. That's insane. Of all the timing in the world as well, that couldn't have been timed any better. It makes me think that one will be coming in as well. Yeah, the train station. Wow. PTSFS guy remembers it all well. Oh, look at that. Inbound. Inbound choo-choo. Coming into this one. Can you go to the MDD? What's that? How cool is that? Yeah, I should probably give an Xbox controller a go actually, shouldn't I? Through the car park, brake immersion. What's the MDD? What do you mean the Mackie D's? McDonald's? There's some maintenance stuff. There's Paul. There's that lot. Oh, there's a British Avgeek just spawned in. Yeah, he wants to see McDonald's. There's David. Yeah, let's go to the other side of the airport then and see what they've done. The lesser seen areas. But again, this is something that we only spotted actually because we saw David land, and they've obviously thought about the environment this side of the airport as well, because in fact it is. Look, the road has been custom added. Look, the motorway going round. At least up to the bend there, look, and the bridge. There's the toll road. Now, where be that McDonald's? We saw it, didn't we? Oh man, where's my eyes? It's got to be over here somewhere. Yes, it's got to be here. There we go. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Oh, I love it. Little things like that add so much to the immersion. Just for flying in, just seeing the Golden Arches sign, for example, is something quite incredible. Drzewiecki Designs is definitely one of the best developers for Microsoft Flight Simulator at the moment. Done a fantastic job of just capturing the environment around the airport as well. David, tailwind turned into a 5-knot headwind. Good grief. Yeah, really variable then. Of course, we've got the military base as well, the Polish Air Force base. God, I've got to slow down that drone cam. Too zippy for me. There we go. As I was saying earlier, you can download this on Orbex Direct. Just go on to partners inside their store and you look for Drzewiecki Designs, click the logo and it will show you all of their products, including the fantastic Washington DCA Reagan National Airport that we flew into a little while ago on stream. It's absolutely stunning, it was. The question is, has he done anything in the tower? There's a little HEMS base for those of you who like to fly the choppers. Oh, look at that, controllers ready to receive us. Howdy, folks. And again, we don't need crazy detail because there's actually a lot going on at this, and the more detail there is, the more polygons, then bigger impact on performance. So he's done a fantastic job of getting the balance really right. There's David. Look how busy the airport looks. The only thing would be statics. You guys know I'm not a fan. Look at that. Statics for me become a problem during a busy VATSIM event. Another waiting area in the departures lounge. There we go. What's in here? Ah, ground. There's our little bird down at the bottom there. She's watching, she's very impressed. Yeah, not the narrative that you guys are usually used to, of course. And there's Thomas's Wizz Air off in the distance. The lot strangely inserting himself back in to stand there. Fantastic airport. Absolutely love it. Just the whole overall environment is top quality. And then we've got the weather system off in the distance. That. There we go, guys. More streams tomorrow and the day after. Tomorrow we're jumping back into the fly-by-wire A32NX. We're starting at Hyderabad VOHS, which is the 4-letter code. There's some really good freeware scenery on flightsim.to for that. And we're taking part in what's called the Spice Run on the VATSIM network, and we're going to fly to the Maldives. Look at that little Easter egg on the hill, part of the scenery added in. And I would imagine that's added in as well as part of the scenery package. Look at that skyline. You can't ask for much more from a scenery, can you? Brilliant. Absolute top quality job there. And on Sunday we're in the Heavy Division 787-10. We're going to be flying from Addis Ababa in Ethiopia for Ethiopian Airlines, a real world flight down to the Seychelles. So we've got the amazing FSDG scenery for the Seychelles area as well. David, no problem at all. Thanks for flying along. There you are, parked up, nestled on stand. And thanks to Paul as well, who is over there. I'm not sure who that is. I assume it's Thomas, potentially. I'm not sure. Hope you've all enjoyed the stream. Thanks to Paul for a really kind donation earlier on today, and Captain Paul D as well for your super chat, and Lucas Sam as well for your super good chat, and Danny for your tip too. And Danny, another Danny, for becoming a bronze frequent flyer. Very warm welcome to you, becoming part of our membership scheme of the channel. Really appreciate all the support as always. And a warm welcome to all of our new subscribers to the channel as well. I can see quite a long list there as well. Be sure to join us tomorrow and the next day. PTFS guy loving Wawel Castle. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic scenery, must buy for Microsoft Flight Simulator. The link for it is in the description for today's stream if you want to get your hands on it. It's just a one click straight to that page. Hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow or the next stream. In the meantime though, thanks to everybody for flying along and watching. Hope you've all enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow for another live stream. Take care.